You are a branch on the tree of your life. Each season brings the birth and death of different flowers, and sometimes they turn into fruit. And then the death comes, and there's a winter. And these winters are long, they're seasons, and they're not the same for everybody. Just think of you. You are a branch on the tree of your life. Your spirit has many lifetimes, and they're different branches and even branchings. And it's this ability to identify with the tree and then the branch. Start with the branch that we're here to talk about tonight. I keep trying to explain this in a way that can reach people, and I don't know that I've been able to dig deep enough. I turned the chat off tonight because I can't focus there. I'm trying to get to a depth of honesty that I haven't been able to. I've deleted 3 significant videos that I loved, but it didn't get here. I've lost more people than I know to suicide. I say it that way because I know there are several who I've lost touch with, who there's just too strong a possibility they've died. I've been at that edge myself several times. And after that, I've been in that edge just in a different way. Like I've known how to be there differently. It wasn't like a constant, like, shall I? Mm-mm. You are born into the experience of yourself in an aura. Just make this like, look, little kid version. Be this, be gentle, be childlike. It's just a bubble. Think a bubble. And it has a basic color. And that color is like the canvas. Imagine a canvas that someone would paint or draw on. Typically, they're white because that's what gives this like sense of a clean slate, right? Well, our aura is often a color. It's like a choice. Like this is shaping you from the beginning. I'm inviting you into a relationship that says the aura you're born into is like a flower on the branch of this tree. And when that flower transforms into a fruit or dies before doing so, that's not the death of you. That's the death of who you've known yourself to be. And there's a pull to that, there's a magnetism. It's like a siren song drawing you towards it. It's terrifying, terror, tearing apart you. See, I'm speaking to people who are considering killing themselves. You are not this. That which you have known yourself to be is a flower, and you feel its imminent death. Sometimes you don't get to know whether that death involves the transformation into a fruit or not. Sometimes it's in the surrender, saying, I will surrender my identity, my sense of self as this flower, and this is not my body. This is not my totality either. This is not my greater spirit. This is not even my totality in this lifetime. And therefore, when I allow myself to be drawn into this death, I die. I-D-E. And I might not even get to heavily influence what color I'm becoming. Those rhythms still get determined from beyond your conscious will at first. And that's okay. To surrender into that is to find love, to find divine connection in those moments of death. And own it. You own it. And in that owning it, it's like you're embracing the blade that slays you. And whereas before you interpreted that as an evil, as a terror that was trying to kill you, Now you understand it was just slaying your ego, your egg. And in its dissolution, you die. And many people do not know how to distinguish this death from the death of their body, because we've been raised into a sense that this is what we are. And thus, up until this point, there has been no ability to contemplate the changing of this shell, this bubble, this aura, without envisioning the death of this physical. There it is. It's in those moments where you're drawn that you sort of turn around and say, what? Earth gave us these. She gave us these. It's a loan. You're going to give it back. The urge to do that yourself when you're timing is like it's kind of a twisted, childish version of attempting to maintain control. As you actually get into this edge of an awareness of what mortality is, it's like, I'm being controlled by the earth. I can take that control back. Version also, and this one's been out there. You're just gonna have to do it again. You're just, if you kill yourself and you don't contemplate the transformation that's available, you don't get it again. You have to start over, and then you do. But after repeating a lot of work and trying to figure out like where you can help it. See, it's not as tragic as you might think to discover that you're a flower that's not going to fruit. When you are a flower, really, this is a direct metaphor. You're a flower in this world. There's always sort of inherent within the character of each flower, there's an inherent presence of the fruit it could become. You know this, like on trees in particular. Fruit is preceded by a flower that then becomes the fruit and the petals fall away. So hold this metaphor, hold it. It's hers. You're of the body. This is an earthly metaphor that's really helpful. When you identify as the flower and you feel that imminent death, it's just petals and they're falling away, and then you become something. And then in that moment, you sense how you could become an apple or a peach or a pear. And then it dies. When flowers frost too late in spring, they're into May and it frosts late. If it hits just the wrong week, those flowers die. And they don't become fruit. And realistically, we live in a world where it's too cold. There's not enough warmth. There's not enough love. And so many people embody the flower and then see the fruit they could become, but the frost kills the flower. And in those moments, many people kill themselves. They kill this body. And so the invitation is to trust that it's in the knowledge that it's possible to fruit in this world, to bring more love to the life, to embody the strength and the will and the nurturance that can serve others. You see this transition, right? Once you learn, you become a fruit. That fruit's, in the earthly metaphor, it sustains many. It's a blessing to many. That's you blessing many people as a way of life. That's that potential. And to recognize that potential is the gift. It's the envisionment, the ability to dream for it. That's the gift. It's not nearly as important that the fruit survive this time. This is your first exposure in many ways within this life. So trust there are more seasons. There are more seasons, and you'll flower again, and you'll learn to generate the circumstances that are warm enough and tend and nurture the tree of your life and the branch that you're on And those flowers, they'll be safe and they'll turn into fruit, and the fruit will be safe and it will ripen. And when I mean safe, it's not going to be eaten prematurely. It's not going to be destroyed, wasted. And then you will be able to dream of this, because it's in the recognition that it's possible that you'll pray for it. And when you start to pray for it, you're generating it as a compass in your heart. You move it from down up into your heart, and you're holding it. You're saying, this is where I want to go. I know it's possible. And it's in those moments of death that you see these potentials. And it's just in the seeing of it. And forgive me for those who don't, use inner vision. It's in the sensing of it. It's in the ability simply to pray, go that way. I want to go that way. Next time, I don't want to freeze. I won't freeze next time. I'll be ready. Show me what to do. And then you work. Then you work. You can't let yourself be rolled, These forces can roll you, and then you can end up like victimized. Oh, nothing works. I saw the beauty, but then it got taken from me. The world is so cruel. It's a prison planet. Cut it out. Work. I'm doing my best to show you how. It's basics. It'll put you in a position to hear your own truth. Your own truth will invariably develop whatever you can begin in this way. Recognize that it's in the prayer. It's in the ability to know that it's possible that you can make a prayer to become the fruit you know is possible for you to be. And so next time you flower, you'll fruit, and the petals will fall, and you won't even be with them because you're so excited. You can start to feel those who will be sustained by your fruit, by your fruiting participation in the awakening love of this world. And if your old self, if your old ways, if your old vibes, if your old attention span, if your old focus, if your commitments, if your old ego still singing its songs and talking its talk and looking inwards at itself and saying, you can't hear it, see it, feel it, whichever way you get in. Hear it, see it, feel it, sense it, pray it, dream it. You can't. And that's why this part of yourself needs to die. Be humble. Allow that death. Dissolve the sense of tragedy. Be patient. Take care of yourself. Basics. Stop asking the big questions for a little bit. You got your vision. You got your prayer. That's why you did it. That's why you were called through it. Take care of yourself. Basics. Water, walks, wishing for good things to happen. Like 3 W's. Water, walks, wishing. Last night I had a dream. In my dream, I had this very vivid connection to the center of the earth, the vortex, the center of the earth. And it's like nurture. It's like pure nurturing love. And I'm having this dialogue, and it's like existing in my presence. And I have this dream. I go into a living dream in the dream of being present in this big white sort of amphitheater. Not gigantic. And I'm sleeping in it. I have a blanket. I'm just like sleeping in it. And then I'm like, oh, maybe I should wake up in the dream. And I get up, and then I'm back in this dialogue. And that dream is going into the vortex as a wish, like a wishing well. And I just received this response. That's a really good idea.